You are afraid of something right now. Maybe you don't think about it every day, but it's there. Heights, darkness, being alone, losing your job, being judged, being left out. You probably think these are your fears, your personal weaknesses, things you should work on or get over. But here's what nobody tells you. Every single fear that lives inside you today was placed there 300,000 years ago. Not by accident, not by your childhood, not by something that happened to you, by evolution, deliberately. Because the ancestors who had these fears survived, and the ones who didn't are not your ancestors. You are not broken, you are not weak. You are the result of 300,000 years of very careful, very frightened people who made it through because they were afraid of exactly the right things. So the question is not what do you fear? The question is what did they fear? And why is it still running inside you every single day of your modern life? To understand their fear, you have to understand their world. Not as a history lesson, as a physical reality. No walls, no locks, no police, no hospitals, no weapons that could reliably stop something that wanted to kill you. When the sun went down, the world went completely dark. Not city dark, not dim, completely dark. The kind of dark where you cannot see your own hand in front of your face. And in that darkness, things were moving. Things that could see perfectly, things that were hungry every single night. During the day, the risks didn't stop. A broken leg meant death within days. An infected wound meant death within weeks. A bad winter meant death within months. The average lifespan was around 35 years. Not because people aged faster, because dying was easy and common and happened to everyone eventually. Every third child did not survive to the age of 5. Think about what that does to a species over hundreds of thousands of years. Every generation, the fearless ones died young. Every generation, the careful ones survived long enough to have children. Every generation, the fears got passed down more reliably than almost any other trait. Fear was not a weakness in this world. Fear was the most important survival technology a human being could possess. And you have it, all of it, every version of it, inherited from every frightened ancestor who made it through another night. So what exactly were they afraid of? Let's start with the most obvious one, the dark. Leopards hunt at night. Lions hunt at dawn and dusk. Hyenas hunt in complete darkness with eyesight designed for it. For most of human prehistory, the hours between sunset and sunrise were the hours when we died. Anthropologists studying the fossil record have found something that makes this very concrete. The skull of the Taung child, discovered by Raymond Dart in 1924. A young Australopithecus who lived approximately 2.8 million years ago. The damage pattern on the skull matches exactly the talons of a large eagle. This child was killed and carried away by a bird. We were not just threatened by predators on the ground, we were hunted from the sky, from the trees, from the darkness, from every direction simultaneously. And it wasn't rare. Studies of fossil assemblages from ancient sites in Africa show that human remains appear alongside predator meals with disturbing regularity. We were not the hunters who occasionally became prey. We were prey who occasionally hunted. For most of human prehistory, being eaten was not an extraordinary event. It was a standard way to die. Now, here is what makes this relevant to you today. Research has consistently shown that fear of the dark is not a learned behavior. Children are not afraid of the dark because their parents told them to be afraid of it. Infants as young as 6 months old show measurable stress responses to sudden darkness. The fear is built in, pre-installed before the first experience. Because for 300,000 years, the children who were not afraid of the dark wandered away from the fire at night. And the children who were afraid stayed close. The afraid ones survived, the unafraid ones did not. When modern humans are placed in low light conditions, they instinctively look upward and check overhead branches. Not because anyone told them to. Their eyes just move there. The behavior survived 300,000 years of evolution. The threat that caused it is gone from almost every place humans now live. But the eyes still check the trees. But the fear of predators is not the deepest fear ancient humans carried. There was something they feared more than leopards, more than darkness, more than starvation. Being cast out. One human alone in the ancient world was not just vulnerable. One human alone was dead. You cannot run down a kudu by yourself. You cannot defend against a lion by yourself. You cannot survive a winter by yourself. You cannot give birth safely by yourself. You cannot sleep safely by yourself. The group was not a social preference. The group was your immune system, your food supply, your shelter, your protection, and your only real chance of making it through any given week. To be removed from the group was a death sentence, not eventually, within days. And here is where the science becomes extraordinary. In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA conducted a study using brain imaging technology. She had participants play a simple computer game where they were included in a group activity and then deliberately excluded from it. No physical pain, no real stakes, just a video game. And she found that the brain region that activated when people were socially excluded was the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the exact same region that activates when you feel physical pain, not a similar region, not a nearby region, the same region. Being left out of a game hurt the same way being hit hurts, because for 300,000 years it did. This is why public speaking terrifies most people more than almost anything else. It is not the speaking, it is the judgment. Now add to this the fear of hunger, not the hunger you feel at 11 in the morning when you missed breakfast. Standing in front of a group that could decide you are not one of us. Your body interprets that as a survival threat, because for most of human history that is exactly what it was. The hunger that means winter is coming and there is nothing stored, and the animals have disappeared, and last year 3 people in your group didn't make it to spring. Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have found that even in relatively abundant environments, they experience serious food scarcity for 3 to 4 months every year. Every year. This was not a crisis. This was the annual rhythm of life. And the brain responded to it the way it responds to all recurring threats. It built a program. Eat everything available right now. Store every calorie your body can hold. Do not stop eating when you feel full, because full today means nothing about tomorrow. That program is still running every time you cannot stop eating when you know you should. Every time you finish the entire bag when you meant to have just a little. That is not weakness. That is a 300,000-year-old emergency protocol responding to a winter that is not coming. Here is the part that changes everything. Leopards are not hunting in your neighborhood. You will not die if someone at work thinks badly of you. You will not die if you walk through your house in the dark. The food will still be there tomorrow. But your brain does not know any of this. It received its programming 300,000 years ago, and it has not been updated. Every system is still running. Every alert is still firing. Every ancient response is still executing in a world that no longer matches the threat. Your anxiety before a difficult conversation is the fear of being cast out from the group. Your discomfort in an empty, dark room is the memory of the leopard. Your inability to stop eating when the food is in front of you is the fear of the winter that killed your ancestors. Your terror of public speaking and social judgment is the most ancient fear a social animal can have. The fear of the vote, the fear of the group deciding you are no longer one of them. None of your irrational fears are irrational. Every single one of them was a completely reasonable, life-saving response to a real threat. The world changed, the brain didn't. Ancient humans feared the dark. They feared the predators in it. They feared the winter and the hunger it brought. They feared more than anything else the moment the group might turn and say, "You are no longer one of us." Those fears saved their lives, every night, every winter, every generation. And those lives led to yours. Every fear you carry is evidence. Evidence that someone before you was careful enough, afraid enough, alert enough to survive one more night and pass something on to you. The next time you feel a fear you cannot explain. The next time anxiety rises in you for no obvious reason. The next time your body responds to something that your mind knows is not actually dangerous. Remember what it is. It is not a malfunction. It is the oldest protection system on Earth, still running, still watching, still trying to keep you alive from threats that no longer exist. Your ancestors were right to be afraid, and you are here because they were afraid of exactly the right things.